In 1987, I was 22 years old, and I was in New York City creating music with a good friend of mine when I received a phone call from my grandmother telling me that something terrible had happened to my mother and that I needed to get back to New Jersey as quickly as possible. So I rushed across the Pulaski Skyway and headed to 78 West. Then I received another phone call telling me exactly where to meet the family. And as I arrived, I noticed the police, the crime scene tape, and at that moment, I just knew, and I rushed through the tape, right? And I found my mother lying across a couch, partially dressed with a severe head injury, bleeding onto the floor with one foot with a boot on it and the other one barefoot. And I vividly remember this as the officer snatched me and escorted me out of the apartment. I just broke down. I was a total nut. They put me in the back of a patrol car. And as I watched this, moments later, a coroner van pulls up, and I totally lose it. And all I remember hearing was this otherworldly scream, and it was my grandmother just yelling the word no. And I just watched her break down, and my sister crying. I mean, it was a traumatic day that I will never forget. The family would never forget, right? And that day was February 8th, 1987. Just 4 days earlier, my mother celebrated her birthday. And what happened that day feels like it just happened yesterday to me. People who haven't lost a loved one, someone very close to them, I don't believe they truly understand the gravity of such a loss. And they really don't understand that it can never truly fully go away. And I think it's quite insensitive for someone to say, like, get over it and just move on. So I'll give some context. My mother was killed on February 8th and buried on my birthday, February 13th. And I say this for one simple reason, and that is to say, I always appreciate the well wishes on my birthday, but it just never feels like a birthday for me because of that dark memory from '87. I don't know if you can feel me, but for anyone who feels like I should erase that part of my past, I say to you, thanks, but no thanks. It's part of my story.